Yes.
Cool.
Yep. Good morning. If you are just joining us, welcome to Cawfee Talk with Sunny and Chief. This is episode 12. And this morning's coffee is brought to you by the Freedom Blend. That's right, the Freedom Blend. We have Black Eagle Coffee. Our friend here, Black Eagle Apparel, was kind enough to send both Sunny and Chief a bag of the Freedom Coffee. I got to tell you, I have taken my first sip. I didn't want to cheat this morning, Chief. I had my regular cup of coffee. I said, be honest to the process. Be honest to the process and do it on Cawfee Talk. So I did. I actually got out my French press because I'm used to K-cups. And I did my French press, my Freedom Blend. And I have to say, this is a medium roast. And it's in my new coffee cup. Thank you, Freedom Lover, for the love that she made us these coffee cups. I have an anchor, and I have a sea turtle and a compass. Goodness, I definitely need that. So thank you for the love that both Freedom Lover and Black Eagle Apparel has shown both to Sunny and to Chief. Wanted to let you guys know, our listeners, and I'll probably repeat this message, that should you purchase, whether it's their apparel or coffee from them, you get a 15% discount. Initially, I thought it was 30. I don't know what's wrong with me. But 15%, your code word is freedom for the Freedom Blend. They also have a decaf for those decaf lovers. So thank you so much. I don't know if he's with us, but if he does pop in, let's give him some love. And if Freedom pops in, let's give her some love for the loves that she's shown us. And we are about to kick it off this morning. There you are, Black Eagle. I hope you got a few minutes of that. There you are. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I do love it. I was just sharing how this is my second cup of coffee because I didn't want to cheat this morning. I definitely wanted to have my first few sips here on Cawfee Talk and just say thank you. Thank you so much for the kindness that you've shown both myself and 420 Chief. I just told our viewers that they can get their Black Eagle Apparel coffee, Freedom Blend, just saying freedom all day, every day, for 15% off, code word freedom. And thank you so much for your kindness. Guys, give him a follow. Go check out his merch store. We support our veteran community to the fullest in every way that we can, but they're also showing us love and support. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
And then, of
that's awesome.
course, what a
Especially with
treat.
15% off. It's really good coffee for that price. Check it out.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, of course, we have our new coffee mugs given to us as a gift by our friend Freedom Lover, who is one of our biggest fans. And she racked her brain trying to make these for us, but she did, and we got them this week as well. So it felt like Christmas this week. We got coffee and a coffee cup. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. The timing was perfect. So we're going to kick off episode 12 from last night's live, Chief. Let's do a little recap. Last night we had our Veterans Live.
Yes,
Thoughts?
we did. Yeah, it was cool. We had a few new folks in, and last night we were talking about funny stories from in the military, and a lot of them going back to boot camp. And every time we do something like that, I can always remember one or two stories, but then when someone else will start to talk about their time, it'll spur other memories in my mind. I've got 20 years of Navy memories, and I have a hard time remembering any of those as I get older. But yeah, that's always a good fun. I came in with a bit of a headache and really blah, but man, I was laughing last night.
And I have to say, Chief, the highlight was Oscar. I'm just saying, guys, they were telling their stories, and then all of a sudden, Chief pops up an image of Oscar in his screen, and I'm like, what is that? Is that Ken?
Yeah, it looked like a giant Ken doll, didn't it?
It sure did. It sure did. So it was fun. I think the best part for me, obviously, you guys know by now, I love Veterans Night. I've been doing this for a year and a half, and I just look forward to it. It's the energy you all bring to myself and to each other, to the platform. It's very welcoming. It's just an awesome night. I always look forward to it. We never know what we're going to get. And last night was story night, and sure enough, you all reminisced.
Yeah, we did. That was good fun. Across all branches, at least we have some similarity in the silliness, you know?
Yeah, yeah. We did have a lot of Navy in the house last night, though. We had a few Marines and Army. Um, anyway, oh, and Airborne. We had them all. We had them all. We had all the branches in last night. So
I
that
didn't
was
see any Space
fantastic.
Force or Coast Guard. So we were close, though.
Yeah, we were
Navy
close.
definitely been representing a lot of Navy folks coming out lately.
I agree. I agree. I know when Sunny first started the Veterans Nights, I didn't have that much Navy. Honestly, I had like one. And now last night I was like, look at them. They're populating.
Hoo-yah!
Oh, yeah. So I hope you guys are ready to get your smile on. We had a great Veterans Night. If you guys missed it, Sunny airs the Veterans Live every single Friday for the last year and a half. Chief and I have been hosting Cawfee Talk, as Sunny says, every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, episode 12. And here we are. And I want you guys to know, if you miss Cawfee Talk, they are up on YouTube, Sunny Side of Freedom. So find them there. Great listening to while you're driving, cooking, whatever. It's a good go-to. We do try to stick to some kind of topics. And today, both Chief and I agreed. Last weekend, we did make an effort, and I may just put out some bloopers. So stay tuned for that. But we had a great time doing that, but we had no Wi-Fi. So I was actually going to pre-record and then upload. But anyway, stay tuned for more of that. But in fairness, this is episode 12. And we wanted to kind of recap a little bit. And based on last night's conversation, R&R. What is R&R? What does it mean to you? And that's kind of our topic today. You want to kick it off for us?
Yeah, and for those that don't know what she's talking about, that's rest and relaxation. Taking a bit of a break to kind of recover yourself, both physically and mentally. And I think that it's important that we do this in some way, shape, or form daily, whether that's through our mindful moments, but especially a lot of times we just need a reset. We need to get away and, take a little bit of a vacation or whatever you want to call it. But
absolutely,
the way that we did it, I think, is pretty amazing because it involved, quite a drive, which is a bit of pavement therapy. And for me, that really, just seeing all the sights, whether that's buildings, structures, nature, the sunrises and sunsets when you're driving always hit a little bit differently. But then being out in nature and getting that grounding balance.
Yeah. And there's so much to be said about that. When you just mentioned sunrises and sunsets, the very first image that came to my mind when I was departing and I was getting closer to home, the sun is coming down, and I looked at my side view mirror and I saw the sun. And I actually ended up putting that image in one of my videos. And immediately it was like a nudge. It was a quick reminder that, Sunny, it's okay. You recharged, you're going back to this other reality, which is your everyday hustle, right? The chaos, the noise. And at the same time, it was like this bittersweet moment of, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I had those few days to recharge. And then at the same time, it was a quick reminder, but you got this. You're going into a new day tomorrow. It's going to be the work day. Just take some of what you just experienced with you into the week. Guys, that's not always easy to do, right? When you're having like a really good high, like the day is just going just the way you want it. And then all of a sudden something happens, it can quickly just deflate you. And the hardest thing to do is hang on to what you were experiencing before, because you allow this one particular experience to kind of like kill it. And that's where we make mistakes. It's like, how did I just let this one experience literally take over everything else? And that's when we talk about our mindful moments, practicing gratitude. It's so hard to do, and redirect the mind to say, nope, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to let this flat tire, right, ruin my entire day, and be grateful for all the other moments you had throughout the day.
Yeah, it's so hard coming back from R&R and getting motivated to get back to work. I think that's something that hits everyone. When we get back from vacation, we're like, oh, it's never long enough. We're not excited to get back. And then, like you said, you could have this amazing weekend or this amazing week, and then getting back into the swing of things, reality hits, the dramas come back. You get cell service again, so now people can message you. And it really is kind of difficult to keep that positive mindset and use that R&R as kind of a boost to help you get through it.
Absolutely. And for those of you joining us, welcome to Cawfee Talk. This is episode 12. I'm going to have to keep looking for it. I don't know why I want to say the number 11. I don't know what's wrong with Sunny today, but number 12. Welcome to Cawfee Talk with Sunny and Chief. We're here every Saturday morning. Keep tapping that screen. We definitely always try to get to 22K, bringing awareness at 22 too many. If you don't know what 22 is, that is 22 veteran lives lost to I'm just going to say it, suicide. It is Suicide Prevention Month, TikTok, and I don't really care if you're butthurt over it. It is what it is. We bring awareness 365 days a year and everything and anything that we possibly can, whether it's through my planks or his push-up videos. We bring awareness and we bring others along for this ride, because the more awareness we bring, the more it gets out there. Now back to our Cawfee Talk. As far as R&R is concerned, you know, Chief, the balance. Oh my God. When you talk about going from this rest and relaxation, SOS mode on your phone, disconnected, right? You're completely disconnected. You're taking in nature. Everything is peaceful. It's quiet. The birds, the river, the sun, the sunrise, the sunsets, all of it. And then you come back into, I have to leave, and you're back into traffic, right? The chaos starts, the work starts, the chores start, responsibilities. You're putting your body through a change. And if you can mentally prepare yourself for that, it's going to be a smoother ride. Like I said, when Sunny was headed back home and I got this beautiful sunset in my mirror, it was a reminder. Oh, here you go. I could have allowed anxiety to creep in because it was starting to like, I have to go back to work tomorrow. I have all of this other stuff to do, right? But instead, I just kind of took the moment and said, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I had that opportunity. And you know, Chief, just yesterday, I was meeting with my manager and he said, how was your trip? I said, it was amazing. The words I used were, I needed the recharge, and I recharged myself. And it's knowing how to do that for you.
And that does look a little bit different for everyone. Like we've discussed before, we do primitive camping. And so for me, it's not just sitting there and doing nothing all day and taking it in. There's still quite a bit of work to do, but it's enjoyable, you know, like gathering firewood to do fires and with the magic flames. And then I always take my dogs, and they get dirty quite a bit, so I always end up having to bathe them at some point. But it's a different type of work. It's an enjoyable type that really allows your body to kind of repair itself and reduce that stress and reset those cortisol levels in your body. And I think that being out in nature, listening to, you know, the water is very relaxing, or the birds, crickets, bugs, whatever it is, it really does help relax you. And it's still quite a bit of work because we cook and, like I said, do the fire, stay warm, stay cool, stay dry.
Yeah.
And it's really grounding that way.
Yeah, actually, at one point, I think you had put it into your video, we were both bathing the dogs at the same time in the river. And it was easy. It was easy, you know, it was fun too. But yeah, the R&R is so important. I don't think we do enough of that. And I also think that society has kind of defined it for us. When you have conversations with people, their immediate go-to is, oh, I'm going on a cruise, or I'm going to like this resort, right? And that's fine, guys. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Please don't get me wrong. But when do you ever take the type of trip where you kind of shut down all of the noise, right? All of the chaos, all of the schedules. My best friend loves, and if you're watching this, you know I love you to pieces, and she goes on cruises all the time. That's her thing. But the thought in my mind is, but aren't you kind of like on a schedule still, right? Get off the boat, get back on the boat. It's time for dinner. It's not time for dinner. Oh, we better get there, or we got to get back. To me, that's more like stressful. I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful moments in that, but I'm not saying you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. I'm just saying also try to make time to go for the walk, go for the hike, go to the beach, sit there, listen to the ocean, ground yourself. That's what I call grounding. When you're truly one with nature, it could be at the beach. I love the beach personally, but I also love being in the woods.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot, and I don't think people may understand fully that the mental break is just as, if not more important than the physical break, because with all the stress and anxieties, that really does take a physical toll on your body. It can create, you know, pain, aches, sicknesses. So finding that time for you that kind of helps you get that mental clarity and clear your cognitive functions is really imperative for everyone, and it's something that should be practiced just like hygiene or exercise.
Yeah. And I think you and I have said on multiple occasions that, oh my gosh, you don't need entertainment. Just literally sitting in front of a river or sitting in front of a fire, which we had the luxury of both. Just watching the dogs play was awesome. Some would be like, really? I'm like, yeah. Or not even watching the dogs, just actually watching nature because it's doing something all the time. It's the current, it's the sun, it's the birds. I mean, it really was an amazing recharge. And what I've come to discover in my life is that I need more of that in my life, which is shut it down, recharge yourself, shut all the noise down. I think as we get older, we are more in tune with all of these responsibilities and how it's impacting our mental health, our emotional health, and even our physical health, guys, because you're not pausing, you're not taking moments to recharge yourself.
And we get so used to having our phones and seeing news updates or friend alerts that I think that we forget about our dopamine. And when you get off the grid and you have all this natural beauty and less of the electronics and that stimulation that we get from what's going on in the world, anyways, for myself, I get more excited about the natural things. I can watch the dogs play in the water, and to me, it's more fun than TV. Or I can go sit by the water and watch eagles fly over, and the little things like that sort of give me a little bit more excitement than they normally do. And so I think it's a good practice to really kind of get away from the electronics and disconnect for a little bit, especially if you can do that with your loved ones, because that really does help your quality time and your
Absolutely.
social interaction. It's those interpersonal skills and communication that you can really open up when you let go of some of the stimuluses that we're so used to and get back into nature.
Absolutely. You just touched on something I wanted to quickly provide some feedback on, which is getting in touch or that connection, interpersonal connection with like your loved ones. It could be your significant other, it could be your children. And I know you're going to be able to resonate with this one. As a parent, too often you'll say to your kids, come on, let's go hiking. Let's go do this. Because we know what's in store for them. And they're just like, I don't want to. I have a 16-year-old. I'm like, do you want to go on the kayak? She's like, no. Do you want to go for a walk around the trail? No. The funny thing is, and I've learned this now, my oldest is 28. Once you get them there, they're in their heaven, guys. They're playing. They're just like totally transformed kids. They're pleasant. They find things to do. And that's, I think, sometimes the obstacle, even in adults. Like, I have to go camping. What does that look like? It's challenging, or it's going to be a pain, or hot, or buggy. All of these things start to happen.
You're right, and it's funny that you mentioned that. My kids take hiking and camping for granted because it's something that's been in their life all the time. But every time, like, I feel like I have to force them, like, let's go swimming in the river. And they're like, oh, I don't want to go. And in reality, I know that they're just going to sit and play PlayStation or iPad or be on their phone. And after we get there and we're swimming and having a good time, they're like, Dad, thanks so much for making us come. I'm like, how come it's always so difficult? Or even as an adult before a camping trip, I'm a planner. I know that you are a super planner as well. So it can be a little bit stressful thinking, what all do I need to get together? But every time we get out there, we realize we over prepped, we brought too much. You just need the basics. It can be very simple. Everything else you bring is more of is just an added benefit. You know what I'm saying? But once you get out there, it's all worth it. All that stress kind of fades away a little bit, and that really gives you, it's a holistic relaxation, to be honest, better than just taking a nap.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right. I mean, we joke about it now that they're older. I'm like, and you didn't want to go. I used to always take my kids, mostly my oldest. So if he listens to this coffee talk, those were the best memories we had, was when we would be like in the woods. And I remember he was probably 5 or 6. And I said to him, grab some sticks. Mommy brought some glue. And we were building little cabin houses. And it was that simple. And that kept us entertained. And it was like an adventure at the same time, because then you start gathering other things in the woods. But, that looks different for everyone. And camping isn't for everyone. Dispersed camping most certainly isn't, Chief. When you're without the SOS and all of that stuff, it's just not for everybody. But I will say that there's so much out there waiting for you, and it doesn't cost a thing, honestly, other than your basics, making sure you have your water, of course, medications, whatever you need before you take that trip. But essentially, it is a complete shutdown and a complete recharge. I know I came back feeling really, really good and wanting more. I'm never sick of it. I never feel like I can go home. As a matter of fact, I said we could stay here for like a month.
And it's not all about relaxation while you're out. It's we can't control our thoughts. We still have things that we need to get done, tasks, deadlines, things that are going on at home. But when you take a break and you start to think these things through, it kind of helps you with creative ideas. For me, it helps me like plan how I'm going to conquer something and give me a little bit of that motivation to take action when I get back to do it. But
yeah,
when I'm relaxing or I'm on R&R, that's when my best ideas really do emerge. And then even on the drive back from that, it's like, okay, I've got these ideas. What are the next steps that I need to take? So it helps me kind of focus my thoughts a little bit better because I've had this time to to take it all in, to kick it around and not have to make decisions. When you think more focused like that, again, it's a little bit more creative, but it gives you that how-to in your mind. And so I always make it a part of, my pavement therapy, I call it, as I'm coming home from any trip. Like, how am I going to use this creatively to get this stuff done?
Absolutely. Reading some of the comments. And if you're just joining Cawfee Talk, welcome. This is episode 12 with Sunny and Chief. We're here every Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time. I just want to quickly blurt out again, get your coffee at Black Eagle Apparel. They were kind enough to send both Chief and myself a bag of the Freedom Coffee, guys. The Freedom Blend. We love it. We love it. And we're enjoying it in this coffee mug that our friend Freedom Lover made for us to enjoy in. So we're very, very happy to have such amazing people just support us. And thank you. And if you do order your coffee, 15% off, code word freedom. And please keep tapping that screen. We need to get to 22K. Be ready, or Dana, please put in the comments section for Sunny today. Tapping to 22, always bringing awareness. Mental health matters. Back to R&R, and I'm reading some of the comments, and this will be uploaded in YouTube. And for YouTube viewers that are going to be seeing this, this is hosted on TikTok. So we do engage with our friends, and at some point we will be hosting on YouTube as well, and trying to get away from the TikTok platform. So if you're not following us on our YouTube channels, please do so. Sunny Side of Freedom and 420 Chief. We also have websites, and feel free to go through our bio because we do have merch as well. As you can see, Break Stigmas. This isn't just words we put together. This is actually a nonprofit that both Chief and I are a part of. We collabed, guys. We came together because we're always better together. We have individual missions, but when we come together, I call us a dynamic duo. That's what I say because I truly believe it. Break Stigmas is something that we've been working on for several months now. We're very, very, very excited to see so many of you already ordering our merch, wearing the Break Stigmas logo. And then on the back, we have our flag. Our flag represents some of those stigmas that we as a society are faced with, whether it be N22, plant medicine, ending, my goodness, help me out, bridging the gap, guys, bridging the gap. Part of the reason why I started a Veterans Live a year and a half ago was to bridge the gap and allow civilians to get to know their veteran community. So please follow us, get to know us, and ask us any questions. We're here for it. I'm reading some of the comments. Our friend is saying how, you got to have a hammock. Yes, we got to enjoy the hammock too. We set that hammock up real quick in the woods. That was awesome.
Yeah, we did. The hammock's always fun to either swing in or even just relax in, but I never do fall asleep in the thing, but I get tired.
Because I was there, just saying.
Yeah, you and the puppy.
Me and the puppies, yeah. And I'm a distraction. I'm just gonna say, I'm either dancing around the campfire. I'm that girl, I'm dancing, I'm singing. But I do take my chill moments too. Um, but when we talk about mental health, too often people will associate mental health with, oh, it's PTSD. Okay. Well, how do we address these? How do we address these concerns, right? How do we help society? And yesterday, I'm going to bring this up because it resonated so deeply with me yesterday. One of the things that I allowed to happen to Sunny yesterday was I allowed somebody to disturb my peace. And the greatest struggle for me, it made me emotional and angry. I was angry with myself for allowing someone to do that to me. But too often we allow people and things to do that to us on a daily. And as I was driving home, I thought to myself, now imagine, just imagine if I was going through something that could have triggered me, and it could have been a really bad situation for any one of us. And those are the moments that we bring awareness to. Lead in love, lead with kindness, lead and be the change. You don't know somebody's story and you don't know what they're going through. And it kind of made my heart hurt a little bit yesterday, thinking like, that happened to me today. I went through those emotions, but imagine, because this person didn't know my mental state, my emotional state, what I'm going through, my personal life or personal challenges. And this is what we're not aware of as a society. We act like total idiots towards each other. It could be at a Dunkin' Donuts getting a cup of coffee, and we could be just terrible to that person serving us a coffee, not realizing what are they going through. But they're there and they're working, but you may have just literally made them feel like crap. Rather, one of the things that Sunny's been doing, you guys see these balls. And actually, even yesterday, I was handing out a few in some of my accounts. And my manager said, "Oh, you're handing those out." I said, "Yeah, watch the smiles." And I literally just say, "Thank you for always greeting me with a smile." And you can incorporate anything and everything into a positive mindset if you really make the effort, make a conscious effort to recognize that you don't know where people are, and just lead with the kindness that we should all be treating each other with.
I know from my personal experience, when I stopped looking hard all the time and started smiling at people more, I got less shoulder checks everywhere I went and less mean looks too. And I feel like that's gotten me out of a lot of conflict just by smiling. Whereas all my life I thought the harder I looked, the more intimidating or scary I looked, meaner I looked, the less people would mess with me. Maybe with kids, but I found that with smiling, it's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
It's really, really a different experience. And the more that I practice smiling, we talked about this a little bit in the Veterans Live last night, and that's one of the benefits of the lives is I realized at the point in my life where I stopped smiling as much, and that's something that came up because of the conversations we were having in Veterans Live, and I was able to kind of go back and remember that, and then like the progress of my smile over time. And I even got feedback from my civilian work that I needed to smile more often because I was hardworking, but it seemed like I wasn't as approachable because I was always serious, like go all the time. And I started to practice, taking just a moment to smile and stare people in the eyes when I smile at them or tell them just to have a great day. And I've witnessed a humongous change just in the way all interactions go, whether that's at work, at the gas station, at a restaurant, you name it. Just changing that.
Absolutely. It becomes, and the more you do it, the more practice, honestly, like anything else, guys, it becomes a part of your routine. It becomes a part of your everyday. Like I will always say, have a great day. Don't forget to smile, share your smile. I probably look like the crazy lady out there, but you know what? It's just become a part of my language now. That's my language in interacting with other people. And I'm going to say this too, we get so caught up as a society with, look at the degrees on my wall. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Who gives a shit? No one cares. At the end of the day, they're not going to remember you for your degrees. They're going to remember how you led in love, how you treated other people, how you made an impact. What is your legacy? Is it the degrees on your wall? Yeah, you worked hard for them. Be proud of them. I have them too. I don't have them hung up. Actually, they're in an attic, and to be honest, in a box, because they don't serve me any purpose. I worked hard for them. I did what I needed to do for them. I would rather be remembered as something much greater than that. And it's not a degree that you earn. And too often we get stuck in our egos. And I wanted to bring this up because it's so much a part of who we are and who we become as a person. It's the quality of the person that's measured, and not the degree or the ranks. That sometimes we talk about ranks, right, Chief?
It's not even just that. It's, when I made chief, one of the first things that was drilled into my head was, if you ever have to use your title of chief for authority, you've already lost your respect. And I feel the same way about titles, degrees, whether that's your college or your job title, your situational authority, even your combat experience. I see people using combat experience or lack of against other people, and it's just another dividing factor. It's just another title that we're throwing on to judge one another. And if you're doing that, you already lost your respect as far as I'm concerned. It doesn't matter what your title is we're all human and we all have our own experiences. I know people without degrees that know more about things than others, like a car. I have friends that were raised building cars that for Christmas vacation, they'll take a motor apart on their kitchen table and put it back together. These are guys I would call and say, hey, what's wrong with my car? Versus going to even a lot of mechanics. Their mechanics are credentialed. These guys actually know what they're doing. And you never really know what someone knows a lot of the time. And I think that we do hold those titles against each other, or we're not considerate of other people because of that. And in the end, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're using something to make yourself feel better or smarter than someone else, you're wrong.
Yep. And I know myself, when I first started hosting like Veterans Lives, one of the critiques were, A, you're not a veteran. Okay, I'm aware. Never said I was. So it somehow immediately put me into a box of unqualified to have a conversation or to host a Veterans Live. And I was determined. I was like, nope, this is what I'm doing. It's called on my heart to do, and I'm going to lead this way. And I continued doing that. But it was also like, well, you're offering advice. Are you a therapist? I didn't know I had to be to resonate with specific situations, emotions, and relate to people. And this is where we get it wrong. It's like, well, if you have a title, then you're qualified, but somebody who's actually lived through it, put the work through it, we have gone through experiences, which allows us to have conversations. Sometimes I often hear, my gosh, this was better than, maybe seeking advice elsewhere. And it's not even really advice. It's more like suggestive, right? Like, well, have you tried this? It's really encouraging people to redirect their path, perhaps, into self-exploration, self-love. That's the healing journey, guys. You start with you. And really taking a real close look at where you are, what you've been through, and addressing it from there, and then growing.
Absolutely. And I think, like with our veterans' lives, even, we find people that have been through similar situations. And it's not just with military. I have civilian friends that have plenty of combat experience that can relate to a lot of my combat vet friends. But what I'm finding is more and more people that can empathize with me, that have been through similar situations. And I don't always, and we always don't need to hear the advice. Sometimes it's just good enough knowing that there's other people that have been there that really care and help us move through it, because it's all temporary. We're all going to go through some shit. Every day is not the best day,
right.
But we can change it. We change the way we think. We can change the way we live. And the way we do that is with our reactions and our actions. Like, what are we doing? What are we saying? How are we responding? And it's hard. Even the day I got back home from this last R&R trip, I woke up before my alarm to my phone was blowing up from drama. And I was like, holy shit, I haven't even had time to wake up and I have to face all of this. And it was really hard. It started off my day a little shitty, I'm not going to lie. But
oh yeah,
I knew how to work through it. And I think because I've been through these experiences, and I've had friends that have been through the same experiences, I knew how to handle it for me. And I knew that meant, I need to go sit by the river for a little bit, listen to some music, and that really helped me out. That helped me kind of get away from the situation, to think it through, how to properly respond. And it calmed me down quite a bit. So rather than having a chief moment where I'm just throwing shit or punching shit, now I'm able to use a little bit of silence so I don't react poorly or respond inappropriately. And I give myself some time to think about it. And it ended up being, everything was just fine. But it did get me kind of worked up.
Yep. It's an overstimulation, and we talked about this a few coffee talks ago, actually, the dumping. You know, I know yesterday I said to Chief, I said, I'm so sorry I dumped on you today, you know? But then I realized it's okay to have conversations with your closest. You know, I refer to it as your tribe. It could be one person, it could be a few people, whatever it is. It's okay to talk about it. It's okay not to be okay in the moment. It's okay to reach out. Because you need to get it off your chest. You need to be able to, but at the same time, don't stay there. You know, don't keep it going. Hopefully the conversation and the person you're reaching out to is going to help redirect you back to, okay, let's turn this around, you know, that kind of thing. So always find the right people to have these conversations with, because, you know, we don't want pity parties, and we can do that for ourselves. I've done it. We actually want those people to help us overcome, right? Not cope, overcome what we just went through. And that's kind of what we do for each other. We do it for other friends on here. Okay, that happened. I'm sorry that happened to you. But let's think of ways to switch that around now. And you did a phenomenal job with me. So thank you. Thank you for doing that. And even then, it still lingered. It was a heavy day for me. And that happens too. And that's okay, guys. Just know that you have to put in some work. Like I had to do a mental check with myself and just kept reminding myself, tomorrow's a new day. Don't let it take another day away, kind of thing.
And I think it's imperative to be careful who you take your good news and your bad news to, right? Because if I'm having a really horrible day, the last person I want to call is someone who's going to get down in the funk and be like, yeah, that shit, you know, and just keep me down, and then adding to it. And then maybe they'll add their experience and how horrible that is. If I'm having a rough time, I want to call someone who can help redirect me, that I know can help redirect me with positivity. And a lot of times, if I'm reaching out to somebody, I'm not even going to tell them about what's going on. There's certain people that I'll reach out to that I know can make me just smile and help me get past it, because I know I can get through most anything on my own. But it's so nice to have other people there sometimes, just to kind of help you stay in that more positive state of mind. Because
absolutely,
positive as I may seem, I'm not always positive. Sometimes I need a lot of help with that. And I think through experience now, I know who I can reach out to for that. Who's going to make me smile? Who's going to make me laugh? You know, who can redirect me? Who can even help me in that specific situation if I need to talk to them? Because I'm not going to go to someone about how to build a house that's never built a house. You know, I want to talk to someone who can give me valuable information. And that's an analogy, but, you know, talk to those that listen, talk to those that you benefit and value from, not those that are going to stay in the shit with you, like just keeping you down in it. Get with those that'll be in the shit with you and walk and stay with you through it, out of it, not stay in it with you all the time.
That's right. And that's where I think, you know, some of the work comes in when you cut those relationships, put them into the small doses, you know, move them over here and say, nope, you're not the person I need to go to, because essentially you want people that are invested in you, right? That want to see you grow, continuously grow and grow with you. It's not a competition and it's not a race, but you definitely want people that are pouring into you just as you're pouring. It's that reciprocating relationship, right? And that's when it works the best. So also be careful of takers, right? And don't be so much of a giver all the time. And that's a hard one, guys, because that was a hard lesson for Sunny. I was a giver. I'm still a giver, but I gave so much that I would have an empty cup all the time. And I never gave to myself. I was always last on the list. And now I think you guys, I put out a video, I hashtagged it self-love. It is not selfish to love yourself first. And the analogy is usually made like if you're in an aircraft, who are you supposed to put oxygen on? You or your children? Same applies to your life. Take care of you so you can take care of others.
You know, that is so hard to do sometimes because we don't realize it. And, you know, these are words. And in real life, that hits so different. just this week, I had to cut out a family member, someone that I was somewhat close to, but I had to take a step back and say, what am I putting into this? What am I getting back? What does that energy look like? And I realized that irregardless of, the positivity, the consistency, what I'm giving, I'm not getting that back. I'm still getting negative energy back. And every interaction doesn't add value. It's the opposite. It kind of brings me down. It hurts my feelings. And so I had to make that decision to stop talking to that family member, block them even. And that was really hard because I do care for that person, and I hope the best for that person, and I hope that they can feel and see that and can make those changes visible, because I love that person. But right now, the place that they're at and the place I'm at, it's not a good balance at all. So it was really hard for me, and it's a real life situation, cutting people out. We talk about lowering doses and cutting people out of our life. And what I have found is most of the time, the people that hurt you and can hurt you the most are the ones that are the closest to you, if you really think about it. Like my children say things that hurt my feelings, as parents, cousins, whatever, because I don't care what strangers say. It's like, you think I'm weird? Good. You're stupid. But when it's your family, that's hard. That's really hard to do a lot of times. It's even harder to cut your family out.
Absolutely. And I'm reading one of our comments, Black Eagle Apparel. Great stuff, guys. Spot on. Thank you for all you're doing for our veteran community. Absolutely. And thank you for what you're doing. I also see you bringing awareness to 22 a day. And guys, if you're not following Black Eagle Apparel, please give him a follow. Get to know who he is. He was kind enough, and he sent both Sunny and Chief a bag of their Freedom Coffee. It's a medium roast blend, which it's a smooth tasting coffee. I very much like it. And so thank you for that. And if you guys want to use the code FREEDOM, you'll get 15% off the coffee. And keep us posted. Let me know how many of you actually try the coffee and what your thoughts are. He does have other blends, and he also has a decaf blend for those who can't have all the extra caffeine. But they do have some apparel as well. So be sure to give them a follow, show them some love and support. And thank you, my friend, for doing what you do and for being here with us. Guys, we are close to 22K. Let's go. And I haven't seen many share this live out. Let's go. Let's get our friends in here. Let's kick off this weekend with some positivity. So share that live, tap that screen. Let's get us to 22K, always raising awareness. And we got about 15 minutes or so, Chief. So you know what time it is?
You know what time it is? I wanted to that was
You know what time it is? Let's go. I want to hear it loud.
I was ready today.
Louder.
Oh my gosh.
Inside my bones, it goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up, no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off of it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes.
Thank you, Chief. I appreciate that. It wouldn't be alive without it, guys. You know how Sunny rolls. So yeah, we're going to start recapping the last 15 minutes, but so much of what you said was true. You were talking about family. One of the things that I realized too throughout life, I'm like, they're not supporting me. Oh my God, this is like a pity party. Misery loves company. They'd like to keep me down with them. And it's recognizing, I'm like, they want to keep me down with them because they're happy. That's their party. And I don't want to be a part of that anymore. So I too have had to, unfortunately, cut people out of my life, put them into small doses. Their opinions really don't matter, guys. That's the other thing. And when people aren't so kind to you, this is what I'm going to say. It may very well not be about you. It's about them, whether it's their insecurities, lack of effort, right? And you're doing something so that it's intimidating, whatever the case may be. Just know that it's a reflection of who they are and not who you are. So don't allow it to change your character. Just walk away because it's not worth your time or energy. And that's a hard one to do. Walk away. Oh my gosh, when you just want to lash back. That's Sunny because I get spicy. It's so hard.
One of the most beneficial, valuable things that I've learned in my life in every area, whether that's with family, work, etc., is how to be silent. I learned, rather than jumping back to responding or defending myself or feeling the need to prove myself to people, I learned to just be silent. And sometimes you still have to respond back, but that bit of silence, that little bit of silence, can help prevent that trigger, that explosion. Because I remember back in the day, I remember when I would get angry, I wouldn't realize it until I was already in an ash chewing on something, or already throwing shit, or had hurt myself somehow. And so just that little bit of silence might be just what you need to make a better decision, or a better judgment call. Yeah, so practice that. Even if it's negative, my dad would always say, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yep.
That's kind of true. If you can stop for just a second, a lot of times I found that I can craft a response that's pretty clever, but way nicer than it would have been. And when that happens, people see that. If you're being matched with negative energy, but you're responding appropriately, the words don't necessarily matter. People see who's in the right and who's in the wrong because of how you're acting, how you're responding. And so if you're being your best self, you got to try your best. Think before you speak, and don't.
That's right.
You can, think it through. And it does matter. Like I try not to hurt feelings. I try not to be like, I don't even know what to call it. But
No, I get it. We've talked about this too. Guys, it does take practice. It takes practice not to respond. And one of the things we've talked about, leading in love when someone's not being nice to you, can be exhausting because it requires a lot of energy. It requires energy. For instance, when someone's giving you negative energy, they're not being kind to you, whatever's happening, and you have to, it's so much easier to just like roar back. That's easy. That's the easy route. But when you actually have to lead in love and give them love back, oh my God, that can be exhausting. But I can tell you this, the feeling you have after that is amazing. It's like, yes, now go think about that today, because they will. They're going to think about how they treated you like crap, whatever they did, said, whatever the case may be, whether it's today or down the road. And they're going to reflect and say, but they never responded harshly. Why? Now, again, I'm not saying don't defend yourself, because I do get spicy and will defend myself when necessary. But if it does not need anything from me, because I know who I am, I'm going to walk away. I may lead in love. I think you've witnessed some of the, trolls on TikTok when they come in and say negative things to me. What do I say to them? Like, God bless you. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to smile. I throw love at them. That's what I do. They don't know what to do with it, so they leave. I could easily engage, and that's just adding fuel to a fire.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. And you don't have to match the negative energy, because when you do that, then you're getting back on to that level. And it takes
Absolutely.
so long to get back out of that. It's easier to not even get worked up or involved in that. So you don't have to pull yourself back out of it, or so you don't have to call a buddy to help you get back out of it, because a friend like me is going to be like, what are you doing in that shit anyways? You're better than that.
Yep.
Pick your battles. Yep. And that's especially for you parents, like, people say, why? Like, my oldest son, raised him totally differently than I do my youngest ones. I learned patience a bit in time. But he'll be like, why are you letting this? I'm like, dude, I pick my battles. With him, it was all battles. And that made him battle hardened. It made me angry. And now with the younger kids, they're like, that's not that big a deal. I don't care as much. So when I do have a battle with them, it means a little bit more. They're like, Dad's really pissed. And that helps, I think, a little bit for them to pay closer attention to what's I feel is more important anyways.
Yeah. And I'm reading some of the comments. Matching energy. You see this hashtag. That's a confusing one for some, and I'm going to tell you why. So if I'm reciprocating energy, positive energy, that is, right? It's a choice. What kind of energy are you matching? I'm not encouraging you to match negative energy with more negative energy, because then what do we learn from that? Absolutely nothing, other than you can match negative energy. I'm not saying that it won't apply sometimes, because yes, I've given out I'll give it back if necessary. However, if you know who you are, you know your truth, who are you proving it to? They already have their opinions of you. So does it really matter? Doesn't. Walk away is what I say. Match energy means match the right energy, not the negative energy, because that will suck you dry. It will leave you feeling worse than when you started, because now you've just literally, I say to my kids, I'm like, you're just like them then. If she's gossiping, now you're gossiping. What's the difference? If she's a terrible person, you're being a terrible person. And these are some of the lessons that are become really hard during teenage years, the gossip, right? I'm like, you're gossiping. I don't like it. Knock it off. Well, she said, I don't care. Now you're saying it's he said, she said. It's this nonsense. And it's hard. It's not easy, guys. It takes a lot of practice. But at the end of the day, keep investing in you, taking care of you, and do a self check every day. Like, did I lead in love today? Honestly, be honest with yourself. Did you lead in love today? Did you have to give that response? Answer the questions for yourself. If you were to do a self check and say, what kind of person was I today? I do a self reflection check. I do this all the time. And you were talking about road therapy. And years ago, I would have said, I hate driving. I love my drive home from our R&Rs. I love them. I reflect on, and it's like my mindful moment with myself, my gratefulness. I'm so grateful. And then the memories start flooding. Like I was grateful for the water. I was grateful for the sunrise, the sunsets, the campfires, the moments, all of it. So it becomes therapy for me too, that silence. And of course, we jam out too. We have those sessions of jamming out in the car, which is also a lot of fun. But do self checks with yourself, and that's not something I always did. I didn't always lead in love. I was always a giver, but I didn't always lead in love. Which means when I was faced with challenging times, difficult people, I gave it back. I was like quick to give it back, and I've learned that it doesn't need my response. And especially on this application, guys, I'm gonna tell you firsthand, block. Simple, done. They got nothing nice to say? Block. You don't need to follow me. I don't need to follow you. Don't engage. Don't participate in the hate. There's enough already in the world. Just keep leading in love and keep worrying about what you need to do.
And it wasn't until I started to do those self-reflections more and more, I didn't even know myself until then. I didn't think that I was doing anything wrong. I didn't think, I was just a pity party, to be honest with you. And it wasn't until I started to do those daily reflections that you talked about that I was able to see where I could make improvements. And if you start to practice that every day, more and more, you start to respond better and better every time. So if you have a difficult conversation and you reflect on it that day and you say, how could I have handled that better? You'll know how you could have handled it better, and you can use that to then handle it better the next time. And that's how we get better, because I'm not in competition with anyone. If anything, we're all out here spreading awareness. We're one big team, one big fight. But we've got to be individual, like I'm not in competition with a single person except for me. I want to be better in every way, as a parent, as a friend. And what does that mean? That's stuff to reflect on every day. How can I make it better? And then it's okay if I didn't do it the best today, because I reflected on it and now I'm better prepared to handle that situation next time. And it's
Most
hard.
definitely. Most definitely. And you're right about competition. I've always said the only person I'm in competition with is myself. If you write your self-report at the end of the day and say, wow, I was a crappy person today, or I shouldn't have responded that way, whether it's family, work, friends, in society, getting a cup of coffee, how did you treat that person? How did you treat the waitress? Anybody and everybody. And yeah, support comes in many ways, and who supports you. It's a feeling. And they're not words, they're actions. And exactly who's supporting you, truly supporting you. Not in competition with anyone else, Chief, other than myself. I agree with you 100%. We stay focused on our mission. That's what we do. And keep leading in love. So we have 5 minutes left of Cawfee Talk. We're going to do a quick recap. Thank you all for being here today. And once again, thank you to our friend over at Black Eagle Coffee. Hold on a second. I want to show you the Freedom Blend. We're so Black. Yes. and he's got tongue twisted today. But thank you so much. Please give him a follow. Go check out what they're doing. They too have their apparel, and we appreciate your generosity. It is 15% off, code FREEDOM. And thank you, Freedom Lover, who is with us. You missed a few of the shout outs already. Check us on YouTube. You can watch the entire Cawfee Talk, episode 12, hopefully by the end of the day. I don't know if I'll get to it or not today, but it will be uploaded. Beautiful coffee cups. Thank you so much for your kindness. We appreciate you. Black Eagle Apparel. Give them a follow. Go check them out. He too is also bringing awareness to 22 a day, and brings awareness to our veteran community. So we support you as well, my friend. And we're going to close us out with just a quick note of take care of yourself. Invest in yourself every single day. Don't forget that you, my friends, are the ones that are leading the way for family, leading the way for friends. And it starts with you. All of it starts with you. And it may sound like a heavy burden, but it doesn't have to be. Lead in love. And that's self-love first. Don't start loving on someone else if you don't know how to love yourself. Don't empty out your cup if you are a giver. It's so important to keep it filled. Let that overflow, and then you're going to see that you're giving to others. It's that simple. Be kind in everything that you do and at every interaction. Take those mindful moments to do the R&Rs whenever you can. It could be one day, it could be an entire weekend. Go to the woods, go for a hike, go kayaking, fishing, whatever it is. Take the mindful moments to recharge. They're very important for your mental health. Mental health, this right here is the lead in everything that we do and every interaction that we have. It keeps us balanced. Sorry, I had to do a puzzle for TikTok. Keeps us balanced so we can better face the challenges that we're going to interact with, whether it be society, work, home, family, whatever it is. So keep doing what you need to do for you. Much love to all of you. Thank you for your continued ongoing support, not just for the Sunny Side of Freedom, but also for 420 Chief, of course, our Cawfee Talk and Break Stigmas. Please check out our merch stores. We both have Break Stigma shirts. We have this one with the flag on the back. And I just put out a new one yesterday, which is red with our Break Stigmas and our Break Stigmas flag on the back. All proceeds from the merch will go towards our veteran meetups, which most of you by now know, www.sunnysideoffreedom.net. Sunny's mission is uniting veterans across the nation, and we have an upcoming meetup next month. So thank you for all who have donated. Your donations are so appreciated. I will be hosting our raffle tomorrow, 9/22. Each ticket is $2.22, bringing awareness at 22. But those proceeds also went towards our meetup. So your love and support is I can't even express it because so many have sent DMs and said, please give my tickets to the veterans. It's there. The love is there. We are definitely bridging the gap, and you've all demonstrated exactly what that looks like. So thank you. I will be back tomorrow night, Chief, for our free-for-all Sunday. It normally is our free-for-all, but it is our snaffle. So I will be airing at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So get ready. It's going to be fun. You're going to see a few baldies, because that was a part of the challenge they set for themselves. If we sold 500 tickets, they shaved their heads or beards. So, and they may be in tutus, just saying, hint, hint. It'll be fun. I hope to see you guys tomorrow, and we're going to see you tonight. Right, Chief?
8 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, it'll be a good time. I'm out some rock and roll. I'm not sure if Mr. Hanks is going to have a fire tonight or not, but
if not, I will.
If not, you will, and we'll have some good classic oldies, I think.
Awesome. That'll be fun. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. So many of you try to be a part of our lives. I know it's a lot, and we all have lives and children and things to do. So come if you can. We always love seeing you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Freedom Lover. Thank you. And there's my anchor, and there's my sea turtle. I don't think you can see it too well on here, but the compass, of course. So thank you all. Stay blessed. Keep sharing that smile and get to planking. Just saying, get your mindful moments in. Much love to all of you. Be good to yourselves. Peace out.
Peace out.
Coffee in the joint, coffee in the joint. All right.